Good evening. My name is Eric Lindstrom. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Inland Wetland Commission meeting for the town of Monroe. It is Wednesday, November 12th, and it is 6:36 p.m. Will everyone please stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll take a roll call of the members of the commission and staff present during tonight's hybrid meeting. Please answer here or present, starting with myself, Eric Lindstrom, Chairman, Ryan Kelly, Vice Chairman.
Here.
Rick Smith.
Here.
Jim Stewart.
Here.
Benjamin Sabia.
Here.
Paul Fernandez.
Here.
Mark Zamory.
Here.
Kathleen Gallagher is not here. And Andrew Brotman, Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer.
Here.
Before we start, I'll read our mission statement and how the meeting will proceed. The objective and purpose of the Inland Wetland Commission is to provide for the overall protection and preservation of the inland wetlands and watercourses within the town of Monroe. Please note that this meeting is being conducted utilizing electronic equipment in compliance with State Law Public Act 21-1. As such, this meeting is being recorded and will be available to the public in compliance with state law. If you are attending remotely, you will automatically be muted and unable to unmute yourself. If you wish to speak during the public participation portion of the meeting, please use the raise hand function. If you are participating via telephone, press *9 to activate the raise hand feature. Staff will announce your name and unmute you when it is your turn to speak. The video feature has also been disabled for public participation. Anyone participating remotely should state their name and title, if applicable, at the outset of each occasion that such person is speaking. All votes taken during which any member of this body are participating remotely shall be by roll call unless the vote is unanimous. The chat features will not be utilized nor considered during this meeting. In the normal course of our meetings, we will hear public hearings and other applications. The protocol for public hearings is to have an applicant make a presentation to the commission, during which and after the commission will be asking the applicant questions. I ask the applicants keep their presentations as concise as possible. The commission will then review town, staff, and other independent comments. The meeting will then be open for public comment. I will ask that all comments be made to the chair or commission. After any and all comments pro, in opposition, or of a general nature are made, the applicant will be given an opportunity to respond. Please keep comments or questions direct, or a time limit of 3 minutes may be imposed. It is not necessary that the applicant respond, but generally in their best interest to do so. There will be no further opportunity for new questions unless new materials are entered in as evidence or testimony during their response. Please keep all comments pro and con specific to inland wetlands related matters. Other applications that do not involve a public hearing will follow a similar format, with the exception that there will be no public comments allowed. The meeting follows our published agenda unless otherwise amended. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yeah, I'd like to add a partial bond release for I-12-11, file number 768 to the agenda.
I make a motion to add the bond release for I-12-11 to the agenda.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I don't see that on the agenda. Where is that?
It's being added.
It's being added to the agenda.
Oh, you didn't amend the agenda.
It was added because it came in after they were printed and after they got distributed.
We added a second.
Yep, section F. Okay. All right, at this time, this is for general public participation. If there's anybody in chambers who would like to speak in a general nature, please come on up. State your name for the record. Anyone? Okay, anyone online?
There is nobody online other than Commissioner Sapia.
Okay. Then moving on to regulated activities, which we have there. And then going down to our regular meeting, we have IWC 2025-06, file number 1554, 261 Moose Hill Road, proposed construction of a single-family residence and land clearing within the Upland Review area. This is continued from our 10/22/25 meeting.
We have a couple of exhibits that came in late, and the exhibits are number 10, a revised set of plans and planting plan by Bombero and Associates, received in on 11/3. And exhibit number 11 is a revised planting plan by James McElroy, and that was received in on 11/12. You have those plans in front of you. And Fracker is the applicant who is here to present.
Good evening. We're asked at the last meeting to bring, we had a few items. And get with close to do here. And, this item is in the updated receiving box, and that's all set. Andrew, that's all set.
That is correct.
Okay. We have cross-section of the back of the house with the minor descriptions into the wetland. If you look at the second page.
I'm sorry, I do apologize. Is that microphone on? There's no sound coming from the podium there.
It is on. Can you hear me?
Barely. It's okay. I'll turn up my volume. Maybe that.
You hear us okay though, right?
Yeah, everybody's clear
Okay.
up there, but yeah.
Maybe if you could just speak louder.
Okay, so we have that cross-section.
And that's this page here.
It's on page 2.
Exhibit 11, yes.
This is exhibit 10.
There's another one with the shrubbery for 11.
It's on your desk. Second 10.
Oh,
It's on your desk tonight, and it's the second page.
I think you need a whole bunch.
This is planting, one says basement grade, Dan.
Well, here, yep, I know. Yep. Let's make sure we're all, okay.
It's titled Fence Profile.
Got it?
What this picture is showing here. I'm not sure if Commissioner asked, wasn't sure about the basement, how it would step down from the basement onto the ground. I'm not sure who wasn't sure about that. The finished basement is 436 on the profile. You see a 6-inch step down onto a piece of bluestone in the basement.
Yeah, so that means you're gonna take out some, you're gonna have to take out some soil to make that happen because, it's about 436 outside. I see the line running through the deck on the other drawing, exhibit 10.
It drops down quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. But it's like about 438 when you, get at the corner of the house. That's 438. Right there. Did you ask about this step up?
Which one do you see that says 438?
So,
All around the corner over here?
yeah, no
It's
corner.
436 on the back and then it's 438 up here.
438.
36 across here. Yeah.
6 inches is gonna be graded down. The line. Limit of disturbance.
And it's 438.
It's 438.
A foot away, so it's not quite that steep. But okay, yeah, there's gonna be some soil removed, up to, or a minimum of 6 inches, but more than that for closer to the house.
Yeah, be slightly sloped.
2.5 feet.
So it's, we're gonna slope it down towards the limit of disturbance. It needs to be, sloped down, inches.
It's 1.5 feet. Yeah, okay, I'll let you continue. I'd like to continue, especially point out the differences. I'm sorry, as an engineer, I always had a reference block that said, not just revised, but indicated generally what was revised and what section of the drawing.
Okay.
I don't have that, so if you could,
I have the all gun barrels here.
one part.
Maybe welcome explain.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's more than one way of doing it. John. Monroe Associates. I believe the last revision, I think, the deck was revised for the plan that we get at the time.
We haven't gotten to that yet, but yes, the new plan shows a shortened deck as asked by the commission to move the posts of the deck closer to the house. So perhaps you should start with, what was changed from one plan to the other.
Yeah, so, but in the revision, I did state that below there on the
Like revised reference to.
Exhibit 10.
Detail.
Yeah,
yeah.
down here.
Deck and wall, deck revised in reference to wall and fence detail. So the deck revised is now 10 feet into the,
Back, it's slightly over 6 feet, 10 foot by 20, and that allows us to have a 18-foot setback to the wetlands.
what was the dimension on the deck previously?
I believe we were like 15.
15 by what?
Well, I know, the deck was 14, so, but the relief to the wetlands was like 15 feet. Started off with 14 feet, we cut it down to 12 feet, now we're down to.
That's what, that's what I was looking for.
That's right.
So 14 to 10. Right, well,
Move it over, so it's more centered with this equal amount on each side rather than hugging the far right side, which is closer to the wetland.
And this door out from the basement that you're showing in the cross section, where is that in relation to where the deck is now?
And we have the center of the basement, the door. So we have a door in the center, a window on the left and right of it.
The center
Under the
of,
deck.
That is under the deck.
is under the deck, right?
is that showing? I didn't see that.
Oh, it's on this front page of it. Is that? Yeah, sliding glass door. That's on the front page here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's like underneath the stairs. It looks like,
I assume your sliding glass door is supposed to be over your deck.
oh, sliding glass door is,
Basement, in the basement.
Oh, a sliding glass door in the basement.
this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Based on where your stairs cut across your sliding glass door.
You were able to scale out the center of the basement. It'd be under the deck.
Well, you're,
I'm not gonna put this door.
you're pointing to your slider right here. Your stairs come down like this.
Okay,
Unless
you're
it's-
looking at different, you're looking at the new plan that shows where the deck is.
Yeah, this is exhibit 11.
No, not exhibit 11. The,
This is the
site plan.
Here.
I know.
Yeah,
And this is the, right, so,
so the stairs, right. Windows are here and here?
right, that's what I'm saying. This plan shows your stairs, or shows the sliding glass door on the left, in the left corner. Unless I'm misreading this.
No, you are reading that. That's not where it goes. It's gonna go dead center.
Okay, so so this is marked incorrectly. Is that what?
It's marked incorrect.
Okay,
It'd be dead center with a window on the left.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
So the view out the sliding door is gonna be the stairs coming down.
No.
View out that,
To the left. The stairs are.
These are the windows right here? That one? These are the windows?
So
These are the windows? and this is the door right here?
window, slider. This is in the wrong position because the stairs come down here.
So this is a window.
That's gonna
This
be-
is a window, this is the door.
Right.
Got
So it's just mislabeled.
so it's cut, so when you come out the sliding door, the deck is directly above you.
Right.
And there's a window on each side.
Yeah.
That's correct interpretation.
Right, yeah. It's just like I said, the one drawing shows it on the left side and the other one shows the stairs on the left. So, okay.
Is that living space in that basement?
Unfinished.
Unfinished, right now, okay.
Right. Okay. All right, so to summarize real quick, make sure I heard what you guys said correctly. You pulled the deck back to 10 feet. Previously, it was 12.
Yeah, well, we started with 14, I moved it from 14 to 12, and now we're 10.
Now we're at 10,
We
right?
saw it at 12 the last time we met.
Right, that's what I said. It was 12 the last time we had our conversation. Now it's 10. In addition to that, you shifted it to the south 6 feet
Yes.
to get it away from that turn of the wetlands. So, okay.
I think it's worth noting at that point that those, the footings for that deck have also been pushed back now to 8 foot, is that right?
Yeah, footing should be,
With a 2 foot overhang, so the sonotubes, the footings of the deck are now 8 foot instead of 10.
Right, so the footings got pulled back to.
Yes.
In addition, right, okay. All right.
We'll continue with the differences. Thanks.
okay, when you have back to the profile. I think, set the setback dimension.
On the profile, so we have the existing grade down here. What's gonna happen is, that's a drop, just like there's a drop here. So you're gonna have to fill that in to make that grade.
This grade here, that grade is. Do you have a full copy of the map that I could look at?
The difference in grade is 3.5 feet from what I can tell. 3.5 feet from the edge of the wetlands
Right.
to the step down. to the step out of the finished floor elevation outside the house, the piece of bluestone that you're stepping on. You've got a 3.5-foot difference.
Right here?
Well, no, I'm saying all the way from the wetlands. The wetland market says existing grade wetland 432. And the step out from the basement is 435.5. So you've got 3.5 feet
Within the 22-foot span.
within the 22-foot span, correct?
So it's, right.
Right, that's 434 right here. So you're saying 2.5 feet. That's 2.5 feet cut in.
The wetland marker 5, the contour is 432 that comes into wetland number 5.
That's 432, right.
And we're going to be at 435 coming at the grade of the house.
And that dashed bold line going all the way around is it self-fence? Self-fence. The dark lines all around your main drawing, exhibit 10.
Silt fence.
Yeah, that's the silt fence and the limited disturbance.
But that's, so there's no, it's not shown here. But in fact, you're gonna have to do some work here, removing.
Yeah, there'll be some work
Filling in.
done. There, we'll be able to maintain the ground from the limited disturbance. We'll be able to work forward and accomplish the grading.
Other differences?
Yeah, so basically with the deck was the big difference on the site plan. And then just notating that there was going to be planting in the area behind the house along the.
Well, no, that's not the only change. The other change was that you added a fence. You added a fence, you added a fence with plantings on top of the slope.
Yeah. So, my backyard, my experience, my backyard, relatively flat, and they cut into the land and scraped away all the topsoil. So my lawn has got very bad topsoil, but it's relatively flat. So they came back in and they put not enough, they put soil on top of it. But at the edges, where my neighbor is, that's where I've got split rail. And I can tell you that where I planned to put the split rail, where it actually went, it's two different things because of all of the rock. I couldn't move those large rocks. I would have had to drill through them. So I don't know what you're planning on doing, but it looks neat and nice on paper. I'm just saying, to get that straight line that you have on here is going to be quite difficult.
That's what they're applying for though, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what we have to maintain.
yeah.
So it says here, the house and location shown is one of many possible layouts. However, any variations of plan is to be approved by the engineer and the Monroe Health Department. Why does it exclude us?
Again, we can add the wetland. Anything would be required.
But, yeah, to Commissioner's point, I think it should because we're the ones that we discussed the fence with you, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, I think,
it's notated.
just notated, I think, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I couldn't get, and you only have probably 6 inches of post in submerged. I can tell you that that's really,
No, it's going to be more installed properly. Yeah.
yeah, no, but it's not gonna be a nice straight curve like you have.
I'm going to put it in so the post won't come up. I'm done with it. It's going to be just what it shows on the plan.
We'll hold you to that, thanks.
Yeah, it'll be staked out where it has to go. Got to maintain.
Were there any other revisions or, that was a good call out with the fence, because I think we did talk about that.
We did talk about that, and that was one of the changes that were made.
Yeah.
We had them put the wetland markers, indicate the wetland markers on the plan, although it's not depicted correctly, it's still there and it's fine. We have round markers that will wind up nailed to the posts of the fence every 75 feet. So it is shown that way on the plan here where it labels the wetland markers, but then they show the wetland markers as different, but the wetland markers are round metal markers and they'll wind up every 75 feet. It doesn't have to be on every post.
And I take it that eventually those are for purposes of anybody who's looking from the wetland marker line into the property, right? Because those trees are going to just obfuscate that.
Yeah, the wetland markers are really an indicator for, from standing on the property,
You're not gonna-
looking down to the wetlands. So if a new owner came in, those are to be clearly seen so that,
That's my point. Are they
Yeah.
going to be able to be clearly seen if you have the shrubbery in front of the fence where the markers are going to be posted?
the answer is yes, because where they have them and, we'll make sure that they're placed appropriately so that they're in between the shrubs and not, and there's not a shrub right in front.
Okay.
Yeah, we could easily accomplish that.
Ryan, you were on the sidewalk. Last meeting, I was talking about the way the deck was close to the wetlands. Did you see me take one hand, put it on the corner of the deck flag, another hand, put it on the wetland marker flag?
I don't specifically remember that, but I do remember what you're talking about, just about proximity.
Right, and it goes, it's not relatively level, and then it just drops off like this does. Right, so you understand what I'm saying when I say that they're gonna have to fill in a couple feet to make this grade happen?
Yeah,
I think the marker that we have the corner of the deck and the
Wetland.
limit of disturbance, those were the two flags. The wetland flag was farther down the hill.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you'd be touching the wetland flag.
I couldn't either.
So that's 22 feet away.
Well, on the drawing, it's 22 feet away, but I had my hand on a flag that said wetland. If he's correct, that's what he's saying, but I'm telling you that it dropped off considerably. There will be some filling.
But I think what Andrew just said is that within the 22-foot span, there's a 3-foot drop. So there's
a 3-foot drop in a very short amount of distance, the way it is right now, okay, the topography of the ground. So it's a fairly level spot up top. It hits this outcropping of boulders and drops down about 3.5 feet, or 2.5 feet, something along those lines. I don't see why that would need to be filled at all. Like,
Well, they would mark their limit of disturbance with their silk fence. And they can't.
And they can't go beyond that.
Go beyond that. And the wetlands are at the bottom of the hill. That's where it levels out. That's where the wetlands are. So if you were touching something at the top of the bank, then you weren't at the wetlands.
Right, but Jim, when I had my hand on the corner of the deck, I was reaching this area here.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah, but
dropped.
they're saying the wetlands, according to the plan, are at the bottom of that hill where it levels out. That's,
And that was all level.
that
So
makes more sense because you were also walking around back there, Rick, around the corner.
Yep.
Down at the bottom of the hill, and you were not in the wetlands, you were along the edge of the wetlands.
well, say that rail is where they contend that the wetlands line is. It was all flat.
Mhm.
And then it came up sharply. So just saying that they're gonna have to fill in this, in order to make this exist, it's not an existing grade. They're gonna have to fill that.
they can't do that.
Well, right.
I don't think we're gonna be filling too much in at all there.
That's the.
would it make you more comfortable if that limited disturbance was pushed further away? And would it make any difference to you whether that limited disturbance wound up on top of that rock outcropping? I'm gathering that what Commissioner Smith is getting at is that he doesn't like the disturbance of that rock boulder outcropping. I don't see any reason why you need to be down there.
I don't plan on going down there at all. I don't plan on touching the rocks.
So can we say that the limited disturbance is at the top of that rock outcropping?
We were showing the, behind the house, the demarcation of wall or demarcation. So a wall to demarcate and to fill at the limit of disturbance would accomplish the filling that he's saying needs to be done back there to maintain and not have any disturbance past that limit of disturbance. Right, and we have it on the plan that it's gonna be either demarcated by the boulders or a wall.
It's gonna be
a small wall to accomplish our screening.
And that is above, that's above that rock outcropping.
I believe so. There's rocks all over kind of back there.
Yeah, but it's very clear.
Yeah,
You walk up to an edge and there's all these boulders that are laid out there. So the limited disturbance is above those boulders. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
That's just what I saw,
Right.
what's on the drawing,
Yes.
don't quite jive. Yeah, 18 feet, I'm not a wetland scientist, but I would think that they, I don't know what delineates the wetlands out by the rail with an elevation that's been there for decades and decades. It's the same as this carpet. You know what I'm saying? That it might be 18 feet between mark and that rail, but that carpet, that, is maybe 6 inches. It was wet. And the rocks were along the wall. Which is why I feel like it's important that we do site visits when ever possible.
Right, okay, so do you have any recommendations? Although,
Well,
What do you think?
I was hoping that the fence, okay, so I explained at my house also that I have a kitchen door. It goes out, there's a small section of deck, about 5 feet, and then it goes into my main deck. And I was hoping that they would go to the north side of the home.
yes, north.
But even that, when I come out my deck, I had a bush right here, that you can see from the road, that where there were birds putting a nest in it last April, and they abandoned the nest because I'm just too damn close. I try not to make too much disturbance, and I got birdhouses out there and stuff. I'm just saying that nature doesn't really like us being as close as.
Well, currently the deck is at the back of the house. That's where they prefer to have it. What's going to make you comfortable with the deck being there? I want to see if we could, I'm okay with you saying I'm not a big fan, but where will you become a fan of this deck in this position? What is it?
Moving the deck north, what do you, I apologize, I'm looking at the map.
North. They moved it towards me, towards the south.
Right, so without changing the plot,
Closer to the edge of the
He
house.
wants it around the corner.
Oh, around the
He wants it on the north side of the house, over here.
That felt more steep to me, honestly.
actually, it's pretty flat.
So,
If you look at the map, or look at the drawing.
again, so
Grading it.
It would get it further away from the wetlands if it was on the north side of the house, but now it's on the side of the house and not in the back of the house, and the applicant wants it on the back of the house.
the wetland line comes down the corner, I don't know that it really moves it significantly further away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're saying if it stays in the back of the house, moving it a little bit more north is not going to really buy you anything.
Unless even if you go around the corner.
Well, if you go around the corner, one of my recommendations last time was do a more narrow deck and then wrap it around, right? But, listen, I mean, I think they reduced it to 10 feet, which is great. They don't want to reduce it to 6 feet and then do the wraparound. That's understandable. You want to keep it at least 10 feet. And then they moved it south a little bit, right?
Right.
So, and then they did the fence. I mean, I think they did what we asked, right?
Right, well, so but I want to get to Commissioner Smith, like he's still having some hesitations here. And it seems like it's around the fill and the slope.
So let me explain.
I don't think we're going to be filling, I don't see, we're
So,
not filling anything really back there.
So let me step back a little bit. In my last meeting, I incorrectly called it living space. It's currently not covered. It's not living space. It is space that you inhabit. And when you have a nice party in the summer, you got your barbecue and everything. So you're out there and it is lived in to a degree, but it's not living space per se. But I understand for myself and from the way that nature is abhorring my presence on my deck with the trees and everything else close by, that we're very close to the wetlands, too close in my mind. I was trying to get it minimized to 5 feet instead of 10 feet. So yeah, it's only a 5-foot difference, but I also understand that this commission is not going to do much else with regard to passing this. I do believe that the house itself is too close to the wetland. So let me pose a question. What could we do to get the setback changed to 40 feet instead of 50 feet to get an exemption?
That's a planning and zoning question, not a wetland question, so I don't have the answer to that.
You have to get a variance.
They would have to get a variance. There's fees involved with that. Yeah.
I'm just, that every foot is very important, critical as we get closer to, if you're going to, if we're going to split hairs, I'm saying that, the closer we are to the wetland.
Can I have the soil scientist?
Yes, I think Jim can direct this in a manner.
Maybe can think about how, more about the, well, Jim McManus, certified professional soil scientist with J.M. Wetland Consulting Services, with offices in Newtown. I guess the development, the wetland the on-site wetland is quite large, sizable. And the wetland adjacent to any proposed development, obviously, as you saw from your site walk, everybody was there, was disturbed. Some invasive species, somebody threw a bunch of boulders in and a bunch of fill, things like that. As you move away from that area, the wetland becomes much better. So to go back to your example, your tree is right next to your house where the door opens and closes frequently, especially during the summer. On this particular house lot, go in 50, 60, 100 feet, there's plenty of habitat. It's a beautiful wooded swamp. And there's plenty of places for birds to do their thing, for deer to do their thing. The development is in where they already disturbed. We're not touching the interior part of the well, is where the habitat and where the more functions and values you find. If I wrote the report, in my report, you'll see I gave it 4 principal functions. I would have given it 1 if I just assessed the area next to the development. It's got 4 because the wetland is large to the area of development, and then what that wetland actually supplies for a principal function, which is a function that is there and actually does something, not just there because somebody assessed it. So that was.
They're talking about section 3 on soils. The Sutton Stone, fine sandy loam.
I'm on section 4, function of value assessment.
Okay.
Section 3 was the soil type, which is mostly disturbed within the development site, except for which one direction? With the exception of the northernmost part of the wet site, which has undisturbed soils, which a proposed septic system is west there. That's about the only thing other than the wetlands that's not disturbed. Everything else is wetlands. Entire site, with the exception of the wetlands. But the wetlands are not disturbed. This part on the northern side is not disturbed. The remainder of that part out is the York end, which is state land.
But the entire development, the entire house and garage are in the upper review area.
Now you have to make an assessment. Being too close to a wetland is just, that doesn't mean anything to me. I live by, there's regulations. does the project proposed in front of you have an absolute significant adverse direct impacts upon the functions and value that those wetlands possess? Those wetlands on the project site, the entire property have. And then are we impacting those functions and values to a significant point where you say denied? Or is it, because all development has an impact. The law says, does the impact, is it significant and adverse and direct? Where it's going to change the function and value of the wetland? In this particular development site, the answer is no. So you may not like the deck being 10 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet from the wetland boundary. Okay. But in the law, you've checked all the boxes. We don't have an impact that triggers the regulations to say, I'm not too satisfied with this. I think we have an impact. And then you check the no box, but you check the yes box if we did all our due diligence and it doesn't have an impact to wetlands. And this development does not have an impact to the overall functions and values of the on-site wetland, which includes any impact to the off-site wetlands, which would be stormwater runoff and additional runoff and maybe flooding downstream, for instance.
Well,
That's where I came off of this. I look at impacts to wetlands. The only thing I do is I flag the wetlands. I assess their function and value assessment. I look at the proposed development and how can we change, or is it okay that we do not have a statutory impact to wetlands?
So, sir, I respectfully disagree with you on certain aspects.
But you have to follow the law.
I respectfully disagree with you on certain assessments. You talk about impervious surfaces and you talk about runoff from the road, but yet, you think it's not going to have any degradation despite the amount of impervious surfaces that are in this plan, as well as the fields, which are not, where it's impervious.
That's untreated and unmitigated is doing a lot more damage to that wetland than this crop development will ever do.
I understand that the septic fields
Septic fields, the town drainage system dumps right onto the land unmitigated.
right, and again, those very large, 150-year-old trees, which there's 7 or 8
There was
eight of them, and you're taking down 5?
I could take them all down, to be honest with you. And it's fine. You have to look at the impacts. That's why we're here. Look at impacts.
Couple of trees that you want us to save is, I had, Dan Smiskey, who's a tree, he's been doing the tree work up there, and he pointed out that it's rotted. And that particular tree, he thinks it's gonna fall over any time. If you wanna keep that tree, I don't care, it's over the septic system. I don't want any tree to fall down and hit that house. I wouldn't buy a house that has trees that are hanging over it that look.
Yeah, and I don't want the residents to be in danger either, but my solution is not to necessarily put them in not to take down all the trees, because they do these trees serve a major function. And the one over by the.
We are leaving on the north side of the property, south side, all the trees down in that area, we're not touching that area. We brought the limit of disturbance way up. And we're leaving the woods and that whole part the way it is.
And the remainder of the wetlands also will have its full tree canopy associated with it.
I understand what you're saying, sir, and I see what you say, but when you talk about mitigation being 15 dogwoods and 15 spice bushes, after you do what you're proposing, I don't find that to be.
Okay, so let's wrap this up, because I feel like we're not making any progress here. So these are their plans that they're submitting for us to review and approve or not approve, okay? Is there anything else you guys would like to present for us to consider before we go into our deliberation?
Well, I just have a letter that I'd like to add to the record.
This will be entered as an exhibit.
Yeah, and this is all, I mean, it was brought to my attention that during the sidewalk, one of the commissioners saw some ponding areas and they were concerned about vernal pools. So I went to the site on the 7th day of this month and just, some of them have statements. I went to the site on the 7th day of the month, November, and I didn't see any ponded areas anywhere near the rock, where all the rocks were dumped and in and around the wetlands. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't one when you guys walked the site. However, having said that, as you look in that area where ponding could be happen near the development, any depression, in my opinion, isn't substantial enough to even have a vernal pool habitat, never mind be an active vernal pool. So, though you might have seen some ponding, the fact having a productive habitat for vernal pools or a breeding pool, not going to be there in the interior. We don't know what we call them cryptic vernal pools. I wouldn't be surprised it might be something in there, but we didn't do any investigation because there was no need to do that because we're not even going anywhere. But that was just my assessment on it. That came to my attention, and I thought I might want to just put something on the record.
So let's start at the end and see if we have any more questions from any of our commissioners.
No questions.
Commissioner Smith?
I have no further questions.
Mr. Zimmer?
No additional questions.
Commissioner Kelly?
I apologize. I'm just going to ask a really quick question. I think that I know the answer, but when I'm reading through the report from JMM talking about mitigation and enhancement,
Yeah.
I see in the planting plan that silky dogwoods, various spice bushes to be planted. So it sounds like as far as the planting plan goes, you're kind of adhering to that advice for enhancement and mitigation of the wetlands. You also talked about the, I think I saw you somewhere talk about the boulders being there. I've lost it in the, there's an additional, where is it? I guess my question, when we're talking about the fence that's going in, when we took the site walk, you made reference to the fact that there was going to be some kind of, boulder or stone wall that was going to be placed in.
Yes.
Is that still a part?
No, we took that off the table because after we went back and looked at it again, and started taking measurements, the rock would just be more of a mess. It would be more disturbance than it's worth. Where a fence, it'd be a lot neater, cleaner, and it's more of a barrier than an 18-inch high rock wall.
Would you agree that that does equivalent value as far as enhancing and mitigating any negative impacts to the wetlands?
Yeah, to me, if you're gonna put it's either you have a dense shrub wetland border, or you put up some sort of border, rock boulders, rock wall. The split rail fence is a good border, and it can also be used kind of like as a landscape feature too, something attractive in the back. But then when you have the placards on it, hopefully the landowner kind of understands that when you have sensitive, environmental area, not, sensitive area, whatever, he just doesn't ignore that. And of course, you guys will just stick him with a violation if he does do that. But the whole point is to sort of buffer out the wetlands, leave those alone, live this way. So a split rail fence, a lot of people don't want to build them, but Jim kind of wants to build a split rail fence. So I say, why not? It's actually better and cleaner and more attractive and does the same job as the other ones.
Yeah, I would tell you that my backyard looks better with the split rail fence and,
It allows wildlife to pass
Well, I
through.
think depending on runoffs and how much runoff, some places they get concerned like on roads when they don't have it curbed and all the runoff is I have a site I'm working on right now and there's a wetland right next to the road. They want to put a wall. I said, we'll stick some pipes along the wall so the water can just kind of go through and continue to do what it does. We don't have that situation here, but a split rail fencing, you don't have that situation arising.
yeah, I find that even though I have a split rail fence, that the deer actually do, that I have evidence of deer jumping that fence, even though it's similar to this, where they're coming up a hill, they managed to jump over that fence. And the reason I know that is because they dislodged my fence.
You gotta have about 8 to 10 foot. I know that from my Greenwich, all my Greenwich sites have their deer fence 8 to 10 feet tall,
Right.
and I can't get over it to do my job.
My only other question, Andrew, it's a question maybe for you, but is when we talked about the turkey roost application a year ago, whenever it was, that was a different landscape. It wasn't a single dwelling. It was a community of sorts that was being developed. But we talked about putting limitations on certain types of chemicals used on the properties, just because of the proximity to the wetlands and the slope down to the wetlands behind the house. Is that something we can do for a house?
Okay, there's certainly no reason why we can't put that as a condition, okay? However, it's not something that we can police.
Understood.
So
The answer is we,
won't put it as a condition on approval. I put it on the deed, I'll make it a deed restriction, so it's on the deed.
There you
Okay.
and there you go.
I would like to see that. No other questions.
Okay. Questions? Mr. Stewart?
Just one thing, you've got a potential tree to remove at the end of your limit of disturbance, kind of in the road. There's no tree anywhere around it. On the north side.
Is that the storm detention system?
Yeah, but there's a tree there and then there's one.
Yeah, I
further out
think
towards
that's,
it.
that got,
Okay.
place there.
And then the other request is I'd like to see some, tree protection on those trees that you're gonna be saving. Just so there's a chance, once you've done your work, that they'll actually live.
Anything that I think that tree on what would be the far right of the plan, I believe the heavy side is facing away from the house.
I'm not saying you gotta save them all. I think that you know,
That one, if it did.
you could meet with an arborist or something and maybe that would be a condition that they have an arborist report on the trees that if they want to remove them, and then they could replace them, with something else, and
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
I agree. My preference would be to do it now as opposed to once you sell the property and then somebody else has to come back to us and say, hey, we have a rotted tree. Can we get your approval to, right? Like, just do it now. But I think if you get the arborist to put that report together,
If you want to take any of these down beyond what's shown.
Does the town have a tree board? Available?
Yes.
All those trees most of those trees in the front look like they're in the town right of way anyway. So you'd have to deal with them.
Happy to meet him before we do anything. I can meet the tree board and we can walk and look at every single tree that we want to cut down. I would
I
think.
think it's more an arborist, a certified arborist's recommendation.
Yeah, but I mean, those trees that are in the right of way would be under the tree warden's.
Yeah. Yeah.
We think the town would rather just get rid of them when they have the opportunity. Not to be smart, not to be as smart.
You don't get
Sometimes
the
that's
ice
the
cream
case.
scoops taken out of them.
These trees are not, they're not in great condition.
Well, that's my suggested, if we vote to approve, that would be my suggested motion, which is that they could meet with the arborist or the town tree warden.
Okay, I actually don't know that we have, I know we used to have a tree warden.
Oh, you got a tree warden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, then it's
somebody.
Parks and, yeah, he works with Parks and Rec.
I contend that the trees look pretty healthy. There may be one or two that have some disease, but these are not,
Once
these are not.
the tree experts go in and take a look at it. We can make
Not
a
imminently fall.
condition
but that's,
that they need to go for.
Okay, and if we find that some of these proposed large trees to be removed are actually healthy trees, what's the recommendation from the commission on that?
I think we're accepting the one, at least I'm gonna accept the ones that they show to be removed, that they're gonna be removed, because they're all in areas that are grading. So
The current
I'm saying
ones,
the ones that are saying that are potentially to remain, that if they want to,
anything beyond.
if they
what's
want to
currently-
remove those, they get a report
Right.
from some professional that says, we want to remove those, and this is why, and then if they do, they replace it with something
See,
Okay,
fair, something.
okay.
reasonable.
Okay.
And they install leak protection if they're gonna save them.
Commissioner Sabia, do you have any questions?
No, actually, you kind of stole what I was going to say there, Commissioner Stewart.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Last chance for anyone. Any other questions or comments? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to close the regular hearing and move to deliberations.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One opposed? So I guess we need to go through the roll call there. Commissioner Smith is opposed?
Yep. I have six yeas, 0, and 1 nay.
Right. We got the list of.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so now skipping all the way down to, well, deliberations. I guess we can go right into deliberation. Since we're already here. I think we know where Commissioner Smith stands. Do you want to chime in anything else before we have the rest of our discussion?
No, I don't think I think I'm fine. I don't think any additional conversation among the commission is going to have any effect, so.
Anybody else have anything they want to add to the conversation? Or do you want to go right to?
You're deliberating, so now's the time.
Right. So if anybody wants to bring anything up. So far, let's recap with what our conditions are.
First off, there would be the posting of a $21,950 bond.
Hmm.
And that was suggested by the town engineer.
Right.
A pesticide restriction text to be recorded on the deed and on land records. And have an arborist or qualified our tree warden to evaluate the, what was it, 2 trees?
Any additional trees?
Any additional trees beyond what is proposed.
Right.
And to have an evaluation of those trees and for them to either remain if they're healthy or to be removed
And replaced.
and replaced.
And then tree protection.
Tree protection,
Those trees to remain.
there are 4 conditions.
Conditions?
And then our standard conditions.
And standard conditions, right?
Does it matter that some of these documents, I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but they had like the door in the wrong location. I don't know that that changes this vote in any way.
It's not, I mean, that's not related to wetlands.
Right.
Not material, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's relevant.
Yes.
I contend that the drawing should be revised to be accurate for where that door is in the back, as well as note 1, which I find to be exclusive of this commission.
Which page are you looking at?
The main drawing that I read, that they're not included in any, you know.
Oh, you brought that up earlier. Yeah, I think we all agree.
Yeah, I think so too, but I just want to make sure it's.
Yeah. So that's note number 1.
Yep.
Number 1 on the original submission.
And I don't think it's too much to ask to change the window to be appropriate, the door to be appropriate sliding door. And I do think it has an effect on the wetlands, having that.
What is it about note number 1 on the original?
Was it specific to the fence that we were talking about when that came up? Or is
He
it,
wanted us to be included specifically on note number 1 that any,
It's just.
for any variations from this plan to be approved by not just the town engineer and the health department but
By IWC.
IWC on that as well. So just to be very specific.
So that should
should
be,
we clarify that though? Because any modification to the plan, not any modification would necessarily impact us in the wetlands. If the structure of the plan remains the same, but they may need to talk to the engineer about something.
Right, I guess we got to be careful, right? Because if they want to change,
Well, how about we see, it shall be reviewed by the wetlands, Monroe wetland staff, and then they can decide whether it's got to come back to us.
right,
Are you agreeable? Does that make sense?
I think that if the health department and engineer have input, I think that we also have input. This is totally in the upper review area. So like I said, I don't disagree. I don't agree with this environmental specialist on certain points. And I'd like to hear, because what he might think is minor, I think we should at least take a look at its effect. And that's.
Okay.
The whole location is in the upper review area. So in my mind,
okay, so we're talking about the condition that note number 1 is to include the IWC in the text. So that any changes,
so are we going to allow staff to initially review that change and say, oh, you're changing something that has zero effect, therefore it doesn't have to come from.
right, I don't want to belay the.
Right, what?
But I do want to I do want the applicant to know that we're very concerned and interested in anything that happens in the upper review area. And if it's so loosely written that the house system location is one of many possible layouts, and any variation from, so I think we need to be included. If it was specific.
okay, so the condition can be that note number 1 reads, the house and system location shown on is one of many possible layouts. However, any variation from this plan is to be approved by the engineer.
I don't even like that language at all. It's not one of many. This is the approved plan. It
Right.
shouldn't even
And that's
be-
what's wrong.
It shouldn't be, it just should say any modification shall, to the plan shall be, and I still think brought to the
point.
the wetlands staff
Wetland
to
staff.
review.
Well, that's why I was saying
And then
wetland
if it's
staff
a-
is different than commission because,
Well, I agree,
Right.
but they may make the plan better. Someone might say, I want a smaller house. Someone might say, I don't need all that driveway.
right.
Is that a common note?
No, I've not seen it.
No.
So any variation, so note number 1 should just say, any variation of this plan needs to go
Town engineer.
to the appropriate commit, all departments. Must be approved by all departments. And in saying that, what you're telling me is that if it's a minor change, I can do it administratively.
Right.
If it's any kind of a change that has a big impact that you want to to see the change.
I think that note,
Comment?
oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know what you mean by
I don't know
key
what-
departments, but I think I was going to say, let's list out the departments. Town engineer, rural health department, and IWC.
Well,
So-
you gotta be
so-
careful saying IWC because that's us
I
as
was
opposed to
gonna-
staff.
I was going to get to that, right?
It's agents.
So I was going to get to that. So
Okay.
IWC, we can then, so that's for this piece of paper, right? We can then internally say, okay, let's do approval
A
by,
modification.
right? Like,
Yeah.
we could have that discussion internally, but I think we're more covered if we just put IWC.
Or it's,
We can make the decision, right?
We put IWC
or its agent, then it's up to me to make the determination.
Right.
Like, hey, this is a big change.
Right,
You just shifted the house 3 feet.
right,
Yeah.
The commission's gonna wanna see that.
right.
I don't like the verbiage that says this plan is to be approved. I think no one should be struck. The house system is shown in any possible layout. However, any variation from this plan is to be approved. It's not saying it's being presented. It's saying it is to be approved.
It is worded a little, I understand.
I don't like that at all.
So let's have him change.
Be reviewed.
Yeah, not approved.
Variation,
Right,
It's like
any
stating
variation.
that if
this
they make a
plan
change, it will be approved.
must be reviewed.
Must be reviewed by
Oh.
all departments.
Right. Technically speaking, he's right. And then we're obligated to approve it because it says to be approved.
I don't
To be
know.
reviewed.
I don't know if that supersedes.
That's how I see it. I mean, I think no.
I'm sure it wouldn't fly, but I see where you're going with that, so.
But isn't it like if we
If
approve
we
a plan,
do, if
we're
we do
approving
it,
what's in front of us?
Go ahead, Commissioner Sabia.
if we say it as reviewed, then what it sounds like, in terms would be, we're just going to take a look at it, we're going to review it, but our response is, this could be approved or not. We're just going to review it.
Fair
You know
point,
what I
too.
mean? You know what I mean? So I think it
Be
has to
reviewed
be
for approval.
a review for approval.
That, I like that, yes.
Ryan, did you have something you wanted to?
No,
We
no,
are-
I think we're eating it. It came and it went.
Yeah, I think down too.
So,
Any variation of this plan would need to be reviewed by all departments for approval.
There we go.
so I'd like to make a motion to approve 261 Moose Hill Road with the, what's the account? The file number 2506 1554 with our standard conditions and the 5 conditions that were discussed.
Right, the bond, the pesticide restrictions, the arborist for any additional trees, tree protection, and then adding,
Modification to no one.
right. Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Stewart. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
And I didn't get you.
Opposed.
5 yeas, 2 nays.
Okay,
Got it?
moving on to now bond release.
We have a partial bond release request, I-1211, file number 768, 39 Doris Drive. It was a residential site development. It was construction of a single-family home back in 2011. All the conditions of the approval were met. However, the plantings for the wetland remediation, part of the conditions was for those plantings to be monitored over the next 3 years. It's only been 1 year. He's asking for a partial release of bond. He's asking for $5,000 release of a $6,870 bond. So it's leaving $1,870 as a bond.
We normally do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, the amount can change.
I'm not talking about the amount.
A partial
The fact that-
release because the site is stabilized.
Okay.
The plantings are in. I went out, I counted this time of year. It's a little hard to evaluate what they're going to look like next year, but most of them were in healthy condition.
It's been how
They
many?
went through one season,
They went through
Winter?
this season.
They went through winter?
No, they have not gone through a winter.
I would say half.
I would say no. I would say we need to keep it for another year. Let's make sure it makes the winter.
What is the address again?
39 Doris Drive.
So that's a new construction that, and the house was just purchased, right?
Correct.
So did you initially speak with the old owner that sold the property to the developer that built the new house?
I spoke
that there are nine
to-
owners in?
I spoke to the developer. The bond is being held by the new owner. It's the new owner that holds the bond, that's holding the bond.
Okay, so the developer, I believe, is the one that planted the shrubbery or whatever they planted, right? But now what you're saying is it's on the owner to mitigate any, to take care of the bond, is that what you're saying?
Yes, he holds the bond, yes.
And was that, just to finish my thought here, so was that in the agreement of the sale of the house? I'm curious, was that on the deed or?
What I can tell you is that the bond is being held by the current owner.
There must have been some part of the contract that.
Agreement.
I moved it, that shifted it.
And while I appreciate that I would want the money too, I really think it's been too short of a period of time. I would ask him to reevaluate it a year from now.
In the spring or
They just
Yeah, I
moved,
think
they
so.
just moved into the house, right?
Right, so they're just looking for the cash back. I
Right.
agree. We haven't gone long enough. If this, and it would be the same conversation if this hadn't changed hands.
Right.
I mean, this was the original bond amount?
The original bond amount was.
What does it cover? It
Well-
covers plants, it covers
It
sediment
covers the
control.
plants, let's see. It covers the
The amount
plants,
for-
the stabilization, the site,
What was the amount for the
silt
actual
fence.
plants? Did we, you know?
yeah, I do, yeah.
Did that construction come in front of this board?
Yes, it was approved.
What?
Yeah, IWC approved the,
When was that? What year?
2011. And then there was an extension, whatever happened, they got approval. They didn't move forward with the development. They asked for an extension. They got the extension, they built.
When did they actually build the house?
No, the land wasn't even sold until a year or two ago.
I was here.
What was the address again?
Yeah, that's true.
39
We knew that.
39 Doris Drive.
Oh, I know where that is, yeah.
Where is Doris? I'm trying to-
That's,
It's over by the elementary school.
Cross Hill.
Cross Hill?
It's over, you know where the cemetery in Cross Hill is?
Yeah.
So in 2024,
Okay.
in 2024, we have a letter from Kathleen Gallagher. Per your request, I reviewed the extension clarification request for inland wetland approval, 39 Doris Drive, per Connecticut state statute. The application meets the conditions to extend the date of expiration 14 years from the original permit issue date. The new date of expiration for said approval is October 10th, 2028.
I agree. It's not that I'm opposed to early bond release, but I think we should at least see what the winter.
Yeah, you gotta get through that full season.
But my point was, if they had I don't know how many plants they had, you know what I mean? If the bond included a lot more than the plants and
It did.
so what, how many, do we know how many plants there were?
Yes.
I mean, is it, you know what I'm saying? If it included sediment controls and topsoil and construction.
It did. It
and all this
included,
stuff.
it included the apron,
Yeah, I'm
the
just saying that-
the soil erosion, the
if-
silt fence.
If there's plenty to replace, you know, a bunch of plants, then
Right.
it's enough to protect these people probably want to buy furniture.
Groceries are expensive.
Groceries, yeah,
Right.
but they're getting cheaper, so.
Yeah, let's hope so.
all the eggs.
Well, we set the amount and the time.
I don't have that exact amount.
Talk about it
I
next
know it was about 30 plants or so that were there because I went out there and I counted them up. I want to say it was about 30 plants.
Were you there recently, Kyle?
I was there just a week ago or so.
Were you there prior to construction?
Prior to
You
construction,
weren't
no,
around, yeah.
no.
I can go either way.
That's
30
like the rest
plants, you
of
can
us
cut it in
are-
half and still have enough.
I think give them the winter, right?
I think we gotta, yeah.
Let's do that then.
So denied?
Back
A motion,
Need a motion, okay.
motion to deny?
I motion to deny the request for early bond release, perhaps with a note that we're open to reconsideration in the spring season. I don't know.
Let's say a year from now. I mean, we did set a timing. Let's let it go through the whole summer. If it's a tough winter and a tough summer, we have a drought and those plantings die.
Okay.
I think the original cost.
In this approval, it is required to have an evaluation each year by a qualified professional. Okay, so this homeowner needs to have, a plant specialist come in and evaluate the plants once a year. Okay. For the applicant, I would suggest or make the recommendation that I will evaluate them at the time that we can release the bond. And if the plants are healthy and alive, it's 30 plants. To be friendly to the applicant, I don't see any reason that he needs to hire a professional to come in and see if his plants are alive or not.
Right.
Sure.
Agreed.
You can tell.
On good days. If he's wearing his glasses. So I'm okay if we pause to the spring. I don't know, we gotta go a whole nother year, but either way, we're denying it tonight and we can recommend, he can always come back and he can come back next week and say, I wanna.
I will email, I will send him a follow-up telling him that his request for releasing of the bond was denied. He can reapply next year, after next spring, for a partial release of the bond, in which case I'll go out and evaluate the plants again. And then whatever you want to leave on the table, you'll leave on the table, and he does not have to have them evaluated each year for the next 3 years.
Based on my own vegetation in my own yard, I'd like to see it get through the summer at least.
It was planted this spring, but I understand your point. You want to see it get through a winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
A full season, a full year.
But to Commissioner Smith's point, right, nothing is going to re-emerge until after springtime. So
Right.
you're going to be able to do
I
it.
will be able to tell come April what has
Right, but
survived the winter.
Specifically, I'm thinking about a rhododendron that I have that I thought was gone. And it wasn't until the fall that I realized that some of it was actually, there was actually real growth there.
Okay, but they need to be healthy.
I'm just, one spivet plant, one spivet.
Right.
Yard.
They need to be healthy plants. If there's a plant and it's got significant dieback and there's a little growth down at the bottom, that's not a viable plant that gets replaced.
I get it, but I'd like a little more time.
Question.
Mhm.
The professional that the bond holder has to hire, is there a specific date that they have to get that person in by? Or is
No,
it just at any point?
It says summertime for a summer evaluation, once a year for the next 3 years. So I found that to be excessive.
Okay, so we still have a motion on the table for denying the bond reduction.
Yeah, I'll modify the motion to just denying the bond reduction.
We have
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Zager. All in favor?
But we have no, we're just right now,
We're denying it.
Aye.
then how can we not?
All in favor?
Yep.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It's unanimous. Okay. All right. Okay, quickly moving on through agent activities report. You got some approval?
Okay, yep, agent approvals. There were 2 agent approvals. IAA 25-30, file number 1558 is 148 Osborne Lane. Installation of a generator pad within the Upland Review area. It's a 5x7 generator pad. It's approximately 30 feet away from an intermittent stream. It's being set inside an existing planting bed. So it's an existing planting bed. It's already been disturbed. And there's a pad going on there, 4 inches of gravel. I approved that permit with 4 inches of gravel as the base, no concrete, no digging. And I approved that with no special conditions. I didn't see any reason to have
Far away?
30 feet.
3 feet from the street.
Because it was an existing bed, I didn't see any need to have wetland markers or.
I assume they're gonna put a generator on top of that pad, right?
What's that? Yeah, they're going to put a generator on top.
Isn't that the bigger issue? That the generator is 30 feet away from an existing stream?
I don't see the impact.
Well, it uses, what kind of fuel? It uses propane.
It's gas.
Propane.
Yeah, propane. I'm sorry, propane.
It's not as bad as liquid, but still.
It's a propane generator. There's no digging.
So as long as,
It's, it's not liquid. I agree with you.
what about the electric?
We have to discuss what you guys want Andrew to approve, because this is happening, it seems like every meeting. Define rules.
You had told me anything outside 25, anything within 25 feet you want to see.
But you're talking about a stream, right? So the guidance is 150 feet.
Okay.
From a water.
It's an intermittent stream.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a drainage swale is what it is. It's not a running stream.
Okay.
It's an intermittent stream. But it's there. It's 30 feet away in an existing bed with no digging.
An existing
Planting bed.
landscaped area.
Yes.
Does this just go in front of IWC or does it also go?
No. This was an agent approval based on my evaluation of it.
I guess what I'm saying is this also has to go in front of,
This probably goes through planning and zoning.
Planning and
Zoning has to see it, yep.
I mean, if planning is.
An engineer needs to, our town engineer needs to sign off on it.
Right.
Zoning needs to sign off on it to make sure that it's far enough away from property lines. So it meets zoning regulations.
25 feet.
Yeah.
The
What's that?
building department too, because they're gonna have to come out and inspect the electrical connection.
Yeah,
Five, that's.
yeah, correct.
That can be pretty close to the house. Okay.
But they're relying on us for attention to the wetlands.
Is this Nelson Brook?
No, this is Osborne Lane.
No, I mean the stream. Is that Nelson Brook? Because that does go pretty far in. I'm just trying
It's
to get
not it is not a named water course.
It's not a named water
It is
course?
not a named
Okay.
water course.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
I'm comfortable with your decision.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to know if anybody has an issue with it, when this comes up again, I'll bring it to I'll bring it to the commission.
I appreciate that you brought this to us, and although I may have.
Well, no, I actually didn't. I actually didn't. I will if you want me to.
He's informing you that he already approved it.
Right.
Right, an agent approval is a permit that I already issued.
This is just information.
Point in fact, it is Nelson. It is Nelson. Brook,
Well, Nelson Brook is behind the house, but that's not.
right near the
that's not
nursery.
water.
The area in question
Yeah,
is an intermittent water course, okay, which runs along the side of the house, not the back of the house. The
Okay.
back of the house is a stream, Nelson Brook.
that's right.
But that's not what we're talking about. That's way far away.
Well,
Okay. So planning and zoning said, okay, it's up to
Right
25 feet.
here, there's a drainage swale right there.
Okay, so planning and zoning approved the generator. They said, okay, it's 25 because.
It meets zoning regulations, yep.
Planning and zoning would look at it, the zoning officer would look at it and would say, okay, if it meets the regulations.
Right.
Wouldn't go to the commission.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right? So,
Correct. Planning and Zoning Commission probably didn't see this because they don't need to. because the zoning officer looks at it and evaluates it and says, okay, you're within your setback.
It's like you're doing.
Just like I'm doing, right, with you.
Right. See, yep.
And if for some reason it had to be in that setback, then the zoning officer would send it to planning and zoning for approval.
In the case of a catastrophic weather, that intimate stream is as good as a stream.
Yes,
So,
yes, that's why it's in, you're right.
you know, I'm not going against you on this particular one, but I do understand what Ben is saying, that Nelson Brook is important. Right near Shelton Road.
Well,
But this is not Nelson. Brook.
I was just,
If
I
you're
was,
looking at the house, there's a water swale on the left side of the house.
I get it, but it's
yeah,
so
I was
close.
just trying to get,
Look
I was
at it,
just
it's
trying to
so
get a
close.
lay of the land.
It's like a drain, you can see the drainage.
What?
Well, I think that the.
I don't think it even runs toward
If the
Nelson.
commissions are concerned about what our agent approval system is, you guys should just write some notes. Maybe next time we can talk about those situations that are further than 25 feet from a wetlands that he should not approve.
Listen, I don't want to approve anything that you guys, that this commission feels like they want to
I don't
see.
want Andrew to get into a tough situation every single time.
Down here?
Right, but
Can he approve a deck? Can he approve a
At the
pool?
end.
Can he approve a shed?
my initial thought was that it was a running water course, so that's why.
Yeah.
Well, that's-
Andrew clarified that it wasn't.
You should clarify that with him. We should clarify that with him. If you don't, you're not making any approvals within so many feet of a water course.
But he knows the guidance, right?
is the
It's
wetlands
150, we have a pamphlet now, right? It's 150 feet away from a
No,
running water course.
I understand that, but it's also 100 feet away from wetlands, and we're allowing him to go within 55 feet of wetlands.
Yes.
For minor issues. So have you ever set a distance from water courses? I don't know that he.
I think he satisfied my concerns because he described, I won't call it a stream because it's an intermittent stream, right? But my concerns are satisfied. That's all I'll say. I don't
Mr. Fernandez, go ahead.
Just a comment, why are we discussing and deliberating or debating agent approvals? We've given them some guidelines,
Well, that's
Approve them.
the conversation is.
providing
are the
us-
Guidelines.
he's doing.
Appropriate.
So that's what we're discussing. Are these guidelines appropriate? Not this specific scenario. It's, are we all comfortable with the guidelines we gave him to do these agent approvals? Sounds like Commissioner Smith is not as comfortable as the rest of us.
Right, and I'm not contending on this specific, I'm talking generally in the future. 50 feet from something like Nelson Brook is important to me. You haven't shown me where the generator is, so I don't know if it's 50 foot. I'm just saying that, 30 feet away is close, so, you could bring it to us anyhow, but I'm saying anything within 50 feet of something as significant as Nelson Brook needs to be.
But we said
I don't
25
know that
before,
it's-
so now we're changing it to 50.
And how
No,
do we
we-
determine what's?
We said 25 to what?
25 to, within 25 feet of potential wetlands.
Right,
In a landscaped area.
right.
Right. No. The guidance that the commission has given me is that anything outside 25 feet of potential wetlands.
Okay.
Anything outside of that, I could use my judgment as
If
to,
it's minor, you can approve.
correct.
Okay.
All right, that was my guidance. If you want to adjust that, please tell me because I want to bring to you anything that you want to see.
Can we potentially add on to that by saying within a certain amount of a named water course?
That's
Like-
a wetland, like,
Well,
I mean, it's not really, right? Wetland is 100 feet, a water course is 150. So
We're talking about a generator pad, okay?
Yeah.
That's 5 foot by 7 foot. To me, based on my guidelines, this was a slam dunk. I didn't even think that you would want to see this, okay? So if that's not the case, we need to give me new guidelines for me to bring things to you, all right? If this was 30 feet outside of an intermittent water course and it constituted footings, if it constituted
Digging.
disturbance,
you would have made it
I
different.
would have made a different decision.
right.
Because it's close to that 25-foot mark that you gave me as a guidance.
How far away is it from Nelson Brook?
I'll have to get back to you.
I'm not trying to amend or but if it's within 100 feet of 50 feet at least of a water course, not an intermittent, but a water course.
You want to know.
But so we're amending our guidance to him.
Which is fine. I have no.
Not clarify, no, whether it's.
Doesn't matter.
These too many if this, then that's. It's very simple to say, if it's 50 feet, call us. If it's not 50 feet, don't call us. Or 25 feet, but we're just picking, like, the more rules we put in place for him, the more chance he's gonna have to be in a situation like this, where he's like, well, I thought
not
this
gonna-
met the criteria.
I don't want
Or
him
we're
not
gonna
to
be-
make a decision either, because it makes it harder
Or
on
we're
the
gonna be
people,
seeing
and then we're gonna
every
see
little
every
thing coming
stupid little
across
thing.
our commission here, which, we're never gonna get out of here.
And keep in mind,
There's a balance we're all trying to maintain. here.
Agreed. And he already said that, I mean, Andrew's knowledgeable enough to know that if there's gonna be digging and it's closer, like,
Right.
I don't think we have to define it anymore, right?
No, I'm comfortable with the way that we have it, but if,
I am too, and also keep in mind, providing a good service to our residents. I mean, we don't want everyone to come in front of us to do something that's minor,
right,
not impactful.
Well, keep in mind that they have to hire professionals when it comes in front of you.
There's a cost, there's a timing,
A lot of time involved.
right.
as Jim knows. So, we've given Andrew that guidance and leadway to do his job, and he's doing it, and now we're saying, oh,
I just feel bad questioning him every time.
Right.
Personally, I just wanted to know where it was. I was just trying to get a lay of the land. I wasn't necessarily combating on it, and I apologize if that's how it came off, because I'm sure, as we've said, Andrew knows what he's doing. I just wanted to have a little bit more of a lay of the land of it, because I know where Nelson Brook is, and I just was curious about that. That's all I was. That's the only reason why I was asking.
Right.
So we're good?
So I'm comfortable with the current guidelines that we've,
I am too.
again, we want to be as efficient as we can, while at the same time, allowing him to be kind of our eyes and ears, our first line of defense, if you will. So,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
okay.
I'm with you.
So moving on.
Okay, we will move on a second, because you asked, I'm gonna find out for you how far it is off of Nelson Brook. I definitely looked at it when I first approved it, or I issued the permit for it.
Well, I don't think there's any questions on this, but.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't think you need to.
We don't need to know, Andrew.
We don't need to go further on this, but in the future, obviously, if there's a question in your mind, then come back to us and say, it's 40 feet away from stream and
Well, that's exactly what I do, though.
Yeah,
Right, that's what he did.
That is exactly how I evaluate and bring things to you.
It's not a lack of trust or, we all think highly of your competence and capabilities. Obviously, we wouldn't have allowed you to do as much agent approval as you do. But we care, and we should care. That's our thing. And if it's your neighborhood, would you have a different feeling?
No, I trust Andrew.
It is 120 feet off of Nelson Brook.
125?
Yep,
20.
120 feet off of Nelson Brook, the actual brook. So original guidance stays. Are we good?
Yes.
I'm happy to change it if you'd like.
Not needed.
All right. The other agent approval I gave is IAA 25-31. File number 1559 is 103 George's Lane. It was removal of 3 large trees within the upland review area. There are 3 oak trees. They're large. They're all leaning toward the house. Every one of them I see as a health safety hazard. The trees are in fine condition. They're not diseased. They're not dying, but they are leaning hard. They're large trees. I gave him an approval to remove those trees, and conditions were to use no heavy equipment in order to remove them, climb the trees, drop them one by one, stumps to remain so it's not to disturb the soils, and to install wetland markers along that line. I saw no reason to make them plant new trees as it's a very heavily wooded lot. Plenty of other oak trees. I thought about that as far as acorns and food for wildlife, and there was plenty there. Those are the 2 agent approvals. And then I just wanted to give you a status updates on all of our outstanding violations that are out there. I could run through them pretty quick. If you have any questions, stop me, interrupt me. But a lot of our violations this year, and I've even closed some from previous years, have been resolved. These are the ones that are still open. We had IWV 2024-04, which was 30 Pepperidge Road. If you remember, that was clearing, excavating, and filling in of wetlands on 2 separate properties. He didn't realize he was on somebody else's property. I was out there last week. He's removed even more than what he removed before, so he's still in the process of moving forward with the remediation. He has the whole remediation plan. He's removed his patio now. He's removed all of the plants that were kind of a nursery setup over there. He got approval for where he's going to relocate the 2 sheds that are on somebody else's property and within wetlands or upland review area. And he has a ZCC for the location of those sheds. So he's moving along on his remediation. Continue following up on that as he progresses. IWV 2024-06 is 20 Lorraine Drive. This was cutting down some trees, didn't realize that they were in upland review area. We gave him, he presented a remediation plan of planting 3 trees, a dozen shrubs. We gave him till next year to complete his project. He's planted the 3 trees. Next spring, he'll plant the shrubs. He did that for 2 reasons, one financial and one taking care of the plants. And we gave him the time to do that. IWV 2025-04 is 155 Richards Drive. This was that 40, 50 trees that were removed. Part of it was on town property. He came to us with a remediation plan. We gave him until the end of spring 2026 to complete the project. He hasn't done anything yet, but I have been in touch with him. He still needs to sign a hold harmless clause, which I sent him over a month ago. I still haven't seen it, but he did respond with an email saying that he doesn't plan on doing any of the plantings this year. He's going to take care of it all in the spring, which is still within the approval that we gave him, the conditions that we gave him. IWV 2025-06 is 22 Plumer Lane. So 22 Plumer Lane, he went beyond the limit of disturbance with a project that he was doing. There were some plants. We gave him an extra 50 feet of lawn area, and he had to remediate the 50 feet beyond that to the wetlands. He started his project. We did give him 120 days to complete the project, which is coming up at the end of December. I told him if he doesn't have it finished by then to ask for an extension, because I don't know that he's going to be able to get the planting. Certainly, he's not going to be able to seed conservation seed mix. So he may be coming back for an extension on it.
Samuel, he kind of agreed with you that
What's that?
You get a feeling that he's coming back to us?
Yes, unless you want to just tell, if he doesn't complete it by that day, you want to see him here?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you warned him, you need an extension.
We gave him no.
We'll come back for another extension.
I get that. We want another extension.
But can you enter the?
Oh, yeah. Andrew.
I can-
Andrew, you can have
I
it.
can grant him the extension
Yes, of
if you
course.
want to do that, so that come spring, he can get his place seeded.
Right.
And whatever plants he can't get this late in the season, he can complete in the spring.
Right.
So I could grant him an extension until, May of 2026. Great. I'll be happy to hear that. IWV 2025-08 is 186 Purdy Hill Road. This was storing equipment and filling in within the upland review area, potentially filling in of wetlands. This was Manny Batista who was here in front of us. He's been having a hard time getting somebody out there. I did speak to, he sent me a quote that he got from one wetland scientist. I had a conversation with that wetland scientist as to what he needs, because he wasn't being very clear, or he wasn't very clear on what he was asking for. It wasn't just a delineation of the wetlands. It was to come together with, if it is a violation, for that wetland scientist to put together a remediation plan for that. So he has contacted at least one person. He's waiting to hear from somebody else, and he's in a direction as to what he needs to do. That's all of our open violations.
Would you say he's having a hard time getting someone out there is because he hasn't been trying hard enough?
I can't really say for sure. I know that there was a little bit of a communication problem with the person that he just spoke to. Perhaps that is what's happening with the others. I don't know.
Okay.
Anything you want me to do on that? I mean, I'm just following up.
I was curious. I mean,
I give him every 2 weeks, I give him a call, give me an update.
yeah.
All right, moving down to general discussions. Looks like we have to go through our minutes for a regular meeting on 10/8 and 10/22, and a special meeting on 10/15.
Yes, so Commissioner Emery, were you able to watch the meeting minutes that I sent you?
I was, yes. They made sure that everything was posted, even the other one. So definitely had a chance to go through all those. I'd make a recommendation to IT, and I can certainly give them a call. Just use the same format for the the titles of the files they put up there. Because if you put a 0 in front of it, it puts it out of order, and then you're looking for October, but it's really up here and stuff like that. So we can talk with them separately. But other than that, I appreciate that they did that, and have been able to view all of them.
Did anybody have any comments or concerns about any of the minutes of 10/8?
Did you make the changes that we asked for?
Well,
No, we're just approving the minutes.
I know, it was, remember? We gave it a C and you gave it a C plus?
Oh, I added the plus for you, Ben. So
We talked about it last meeting, Ben, on October 8th.
what was that one? I'm sorry, I have it written down, but what were those?
I believe it had to do with the pending public meeting at 186, at the applicant that we just approved tonight.
261 Moose Hill Road, yeah.
We didn't, although the stuff from the initial minutes were great from Kerry, it didn't, yours do not say anything about the public meeting, and I think that's important that we include that. Don't you remember that,
Okay.
Ben?
Yeah, I do. I may have not sent anything.
Yeah.
I apologize on that one for 10/8. We can table 10/8 for now. I will send those revisions to Carrie. Okay, so we'll table 10-8. What about 10-22? Any comments or concerns on 10-22?
No.
We have to do 10:15, which was the
Oh,
special
sorry,
meeting.
the special
site walk.
meeting, the special meeting minutes of 10:15. I didn't see any issues being at that meeting. I didn't have any issues with that, with those minutes. Did anybody, Andrew or?
You were at the meeting. You were the lead.
This was the site walk.
The sidewalk is 10:15? Oh, that's the special meeting.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh. So what is yeah, I've not sent any meeting minutes. Candidly, I left town the next day, so
No. Did you look at the
no,
minutes?
did you look at
We
them to make sure
posted-
they were
we posted-
accurate?
no, I did not look at those. I
So
apologize.
let's table the 8th and the 15th.
Ben, could I just go back to the meeting minutes? I don't recall which date it was. It wasn't that one. But I did let Carrie know that there was a typo in the present commissioners. Did you get that? Did I copy of that?
No.
So she was going to make the change, but like I think Paul's name was listed twice as absent and present. So she went back and I think she was.
That probably was.
You were both.
He went to the bathroom.
This was for the meeting, this was for 10:15?
No, it wasn't 10:15. It was one of the regular meetings.
And
I
10:22.
believe, I
was
believe it
absent.
may have been fixed. Let me double check.
That's the only comment I had.
That would be,
Oh, we tabled it one.
How about we table them all and review them again?
1022's was fixed.
Okay, thank you.
It was fixed on that one.
So can we vote on 10-22?
I think we can vote on 1022.
You sure?
He said it was fixed. He checked it. All right. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes for 10-22?
Motion to approve the minutes from 10:22.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Saying,
I abstain as well.
Stay? Okay.
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions, and that was Fernandez and Kelly.
All right.
Commissioner Stewart, do you mind just send me what it is that for 10-8 so I can get that sent over to Carrie.
You would think.
Make a minute.
No. Andrew sent it. It was a request for Andrew, right? Not for me.
Ben,
Not for me.
Ben, you're looking for what?
I'm sorry. The changes that Commissioner Smith was looking for 10-8, just if I can get those so I can write them down. I don't have it on my meeting minutes from 10-8.
Commissioner Smith, you're going to get that to me, or you've already gotten it to Carrie?
Kerry wrote it. I advise you, Ben, to take a look at what Kerry wrote and make it more appropriate with regard to the off-site site walk that was done on the 15th. I just want it to be reflected in the public record that we had a site walk on the 15th and it was approved. I mean, Kerry states everything, in there. And cut and paste it if you'd like. Just something to let so that if we go back, oh yeah, we did talk about a site walk and we did agree that it was going to be on October 15th.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say that those minutes on 10-8 has a site walk was discussed as well as a tentative date of October 15th at 2 p.m. So I don't know if you wanted more than that.
You know what? I'll have to go back to the October 8th meeting and see what the problem was, Ben.
Okay.
And that's a C, not a C plus.
Come on, man. Give him a plus.
All right.
You gotta change that to an A once it's corrected.
Is there something,
No problem.
I'm confused, is there something I need to do here?
Commissioner Smith's gonna go look at everything again. It's what
I
you
guess
said.
I gotta look at.
He's gonna double check it and then,
Is there anything you'd like me to do? I'm not
No.
sure what you're asking.
I just reviewed the minutes from the 15th. Do we want to vote on those? The only thing missing is the horrific bee stings that I saw.
They were.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
They were annoying for days.
Yeah,
we could add that if you want.
No.
we'll leave it, Alice.
I mean, I read the minutes from 10:15.
Work for anybody.
Well, if you want, because
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minute, the meeting minutes from October 15th for the special meeting on 261 Turkey Roost.
And I second that.
Stay.
Abstain.
We understand.
Yeah, the rest of you guys have to abstain pretty much.
3, 1, 2, 3 abstention. No.
I didn't
4.
abstain. I didn't abstain.
No.
I voted to approve.
You weren't there either.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you probably have 3 votes to
Abstain was
Approve,
3 to approve, 4 to abstain.
or abstain.
Eric, Jim, Mark, and Paul. Okay. Got it.
So now that's just a question of 10-8. Okay. Are we done with minutes for the moment?
I-
All right,
I
moving
believe so.
on to correspondence.
Nothing for
And meeting schedule for December.
Just wanted to remind you that there is one meeting in December, and it is December 10th.
Okay, and
We're
then
done with November?
We are done with November.
God,
unless you want to meet on Thanksgiving or the day before.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Did we want to reopen the discussion of the meeting start time for next year?
Do you want to do a text amendment on that? Or you want to have, you want to just have a conversation?
Seeing what people think, because I know Commissioner
Ben?
Sabia is struggling to get here for 6:30. His situation changed a little bit. So
Is it at all possible? Can we do 15-minute increments? Can we do a 6:45? Is that
We can do anything you want. It's just it's a text amendment that we'll have to do, which is not a problem.
6:53.
Oh, 6:45, can we, 6:45?
6:45 solves my problem. I'm
It
scrambling.
solves your problem. 6:45 solves
Ben's problem
Ben's problem.
helps you a little bit.
Is 7 o'clock comfortable? I mean, why not just make it comfortable for everybody?
I mean, the only downside is when we,
I know that we already moved it from 7 to 6:30.
I don't think comfortable, maybe is it appropriate as far as the public, it's something is it 7 o'clock or 6:30? It goes in a half hour. So it makes the public feel better to go to 7 o'clock. I think 7 o'clock should be fine.
that's fine.
So
We don't
at
have
the
to decide
next,
that today. I'm
right.
just bringing it up
just
for conversation
spitballing?
for the
Yeah.
moment.
If nobody, I certainly have no issue with it. It makes no difference to me.
I mean, I know 6:30 is an issue for Commissioner Sabia. I can get here like 6:37,
Yeah.
so I can keep you all waiting
Right,
but
so
My suggestion would be just to make it for 7 o'clock so nobody's rushing to get here for 6:45.
I'm good with that.
I see that logic and I don't have a problem with anything. So I agree that we should change it. Just a matter of,
all right, let's mull it over till our next meeting and then we'll.
Yeah.
I think we'll need a vote on it.
Yes, we'll need the vote.
I will make sure that we have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
That's fair. Okay.
Sounds good.
Is that enough time to change it for January? Do you know what I mean? Like,
The next meeting in December?
right, but I mean, if we vote in December, does that give you enough time to change it for January?
Sure, I'm sure it is.
And if we have to.
I'm
delay it
80% sure that's enough time. If it's a problem, I will let you know at the next meeting.
Because you have to notify the Secretary of State or
Right.
something.
Right.
That's fine.
so then. Is it time? Do I make a?
Do it right now.
Now, we have a motion.
I got a motion.
Got a motion.
Adjourn this evening's lovely meeting.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.